What up, it's your boy T-Bird Reaction. Today's Wrestler Wednesday or Wrestler Reaction though. Sorry, I'm still a little bit underwater. I hope I get better about tomorrow. Either way, I'm still a little too movies to see Michael Jackson's biopic. Anyway, about to get to a video for Wrestling Flashback. Now, we always talk about JR and Jerry the King Lawler for how great of a duo they were. But one underrated duo for a time being, especially during the invasion angle, the WWE versus the Alliance, was none other than JR and Heyman. I mean, Heyman took over for King for a good while. But yeah, but you thought King and JR they were having friendly competition as well too. These two hated JR and Heyman hated each other, especially during the Alliance. Oh my god. The back and forth was just golden. And then, the end when Paul Heyman got fired, got quote fired, and JR Cuckoo the Warriors was gone. And then he gave it a beast because he tried to jump on him. I love it. Anyway, hope they mentioned that on there. But other than that, let's check out JR and Heyman hated each other, but it was comedy. It was commentary gold, which is facts. Let's get it.
1, 2, is this on?
Despite their short run as a duo, Paul Heyman and Jim Ross were one of the most memorable commentary pairings.
Yes.
Stand up! That's all right, that's all right. Sit down, sit down! Woman. Sit down! That's your age, will you? Don't be an idiot.
Paul brought out the best in JR, while Heyman re-established himself as a tremendous heel.
You can't decide if you love Stone Cold or if you hate Stone Cold. You don't care, then shut up about it and call a match.
Together, they bickered and argued while providing great calls with their fantastic announcing.
Steve Austin is alive today!
This one here!
Self-defense! That's a bunch of crap and you know it. But Stone Cold Steve Austin! Austin. Why not? Left for you. And I'll tell you this, on the it's unforgiven. Austin.
You would think the crowd was going off over their bickering though as well too. You would think the way crowds roaring, I don't know what's going on because you can't hear the commentary or in a live show, but at the same time you think the crowd was going off with them because they was going at it.
He's gonna get his ass whipped.
They showcased immense passion, which helped fans suspend their disbelief.
They gotta play that whole set right there, especially when JR said Heyman.
Get emotionally invested in the stories being told.
By God, I know one thing. Stone Cold knows he can't beat Kurt Angle for the WWF.
And this was the rare time you ever hear JR be against Steve Austin because he was part of the Alliance. That's why I always say that's how it was with Roman. When we became heel and all that, I was really black JR. I was trying to roll with him, the other story, and then I was literally black JR. He's still my boy, but he's on the opposite side of me. I'm gonna talk the most shit ever. Yeah.
Today, we'll highlight some of their best work by listing 10 matches JR and Paul Heyman made iconic with their commentary.
You're out of work again.
Yep.
You didn't win, Paul. Your man lost. Kurt Angle just screwed you guys.
We all know how historic the legendary TLC match at WrestleMania 17 was, but amidst all the chaos...
Hey, you do know, folks may not know that they was doing commentary together before the Alliance started though as well too. So they had some moments before that as well too.
Fans might forget JR and Heyman's performance behind the desk. Jim's commentary in particular went from joking to concern the longer the match went on.
This will adversely affect your sexual drive.
Ross couldn't believe it when Edge speared Jeff Hardy from the ladder. The Oklahoman had a famous call to go with such an insane spot.
There we go. Shout out Javon Evans, who pretty much had a similar moment this past WrestleMania at the six-pack ladder match as well too, with the cutter on Rusev.
Heyman was overjoyed to see his ECW friend Rhino do a run-in.
On top of that big ladder, it's
JR.
No, he loves his Rhino. Gore!
however, was increasingly worried at each wrestler's condition following another dangerous stunt.
I got to say a prayer for these 6 men.
In the end, it was Edge and Christian's night, as JR put into perspective how much sheer carnage we just witnessed.
Like a tornado ran through a mobile home park. Look at the damage, look at the destruction.
Ross and Heyman's commentary was one of the highlights of the Invasion storyline. Paul was the voice of the Alliance faction, while JR was WWF through and through. It made for a perfect dynamic since both men wanted the other out of a job.
I have been sitting like a damn corporate sellout next to that damn man.
The story culminated at the 2001 Survivor Series. The Alliance battled a team of WWF wrestlers, where the winning promotion would gain full control of the company. JR and Heyman were on fire, going back and forth throughout the night.
Bye-bye, audience. Good old JR signing off after all this.
Right.
You know you're sick.
I'm not going to miss you at all.
Who gives a damn?
It's been miserable working with you.
Same here.
The two continued to go at each other as the winner-take-all main event was set to begin.
You can't decide if you love Stone Cold or if you hate Stone Cold.
Don't care about shut up about it. They call a match. They
Yo.
do your job.
Yo.
Cornette can replace you tomorrow night.
The match featured a nice mix of expert analysis and fun quips from the announcers.
The Spinneroonie, the most electrifying move in wrestling today.
That is hideous. 3 members of Team Alliance.
Listen to you, you're losing your voice out of nervousness. You know you're finished.
JR played the straight man for most of the bout, focusing on the action, but eventually he grew tired of Paul's annoyance and fired back accordingly.
I'll tell you one way or the other, if I get my ass fired, I wouldn't listen to your crap anymore. Hear your voice anymore.
Well, you'll have to hear it every Monday on television.
I'll turn the sound down and watch the closed captions.
Hugo Savinovich replace you
Double
in
knockdown.
Spanish. Which is a foreign language like whatever you talk from Oklahoma.
And obviously Heyman was happy to play ball and keep poking the man under the black hat.
Never doubted Stone Cold's ability. Not one time, not for 1 minute.
Too late to suck up.
I'm sucking up.
What you can give me.
Why don't you kiss my ass?
Oh my God. So much memories right here. Yo, so much memories right here. Go back.
Stone Cold's ability. Not one time, not for 1 minute.
Yo.
To suck up.
I'm sucking up.
What you can give me.
Why don't you kiss my ass? And just call the man.
Why do you keep wanting me to kiss your ass? What is with you, Oklahoma people?
You're going to step one up on one time too many.
Yeah.
Time too many.
Though the argument was all in the context of the story, as both teams fought to keep their promotions and jobs afloat. In the end, Team WWF scored the victory.
Son of a...
Yup. Yup.
Sure, the Invasion storyline wasn't good, but the ending was satisfactory in no small part, thanks to JR and Heyman on the call.
You're out of work again. You didn't win, Paul. Your man lost. Kurt Angle just screwed you guys.
Kurt Angle versus Stone Cold was one of the big news of the Invasion. Their first pay-per-view singles match took place at that year's SummerSlam. Austin defended the WWF title against Kurt, who was still in the WWE.
This is why I always was till this day so bad that they turned coach and have joined the Alliance, because the stuff he was doing with Austin was gold, yo. It was just pure gold. Like, he had maybe one of his best face runs ever as well, too. Might be the best one, to be honest. He has some other face run, but this might be the best face run, yo. Him and Austin, he went crazy with Austin. Don't lie.
WWF camp at the time. In the early going, the commentators created a big fight feel type atmosphere.
Fight is on, and like Drowning Pool would say, let the body
hit the floor, yo.
And you've got to believe down deep in your soul that this one is going to be as physically intense as perhaps anything that we will ever see.
They put over how heinous of a heel Austin had become.
Has there ever been a champion as vicious as Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Sure, he had time for comedy, but deep down, the Rattlesnake had unleashed a brutal side to him he hadn't seen in some time.
He's a psychotic son of a bitch.
Angle fired back by going for the ankle, which the announcers sold to great effect.
Angle's got the rip. Angle's got the
The finish ended in a screwy DQ.
Nick Patrick.
Which led to Kurt destroying the Alliance referee Nick Patrick, much to JR's delight. After breaking down a superb contest, you just knew JR and Paul had to bicker at some point.
By God, I know one thing. Stone Cold knows he can't beat Kurt Angle for the WWF title. Can you argue that point?
Angle's match for the September 10th, 2001 Raw against Rob Van Dam was a hard-hitting affair for the Hardcore Championship that is best remembered for its aftermath, as Stone Cold threw both competitors off the stage. Then while Kurt was being stretchered off by paramedics, Heyman and JR had one of their most famous moments. The two men threw bullets at one another while at the same time putting over Angle and Austin's feud in preparation for their WWF title clash at the upcoming Unforgiven pay-per-view.
Austin is a no good, son of dirty.
You know, if you want a job in the Alliance, I can put in a good word for you with Steph and Shane. This pink hair and all.
Go back to Oklahoma and go to a football game. The bottom line here is Austin is paranoid. He is sick. He didn't give Angle any warning. He threw him off that stage. He's a sick human being, and he's running scared.
Heyman and JR also did some great work before the invasion began, as they were firing on all cylinders right from the start.
Steve Austin is alive today because of his great self-defense.
That's a bunch
you want to have more respect for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Why not?
Left for you, and I'll tell you this on the
again. You think the crowd, when the crowd going on, they was going off for them, but he can't hear him.
He's gonna get his ass whipped. He's gonna get his ass whipped in Pittsburgh.
By who?
And he knows
Kurt Angle?
Yes.
Like Kurt Angle?
Don't get up there.
Get out of your mind.
Kiss my ass.
Stone Cold and Triple H.
Yo, definitely one of the best one right there. Kiss my ass. I love it. JR always go, oh yes. Oh. I'm about to say, I thought they gonna talk about when Austin and Triple H took down Lee. Oh yeah, they was going at it, JR.
Jericho and Benoit from May 21st, 2001 is among the greatest Raw matches of all time. It's famous for the game's quad tear, but the bout was a fast-paced, balls-to-the-wall epic where the crowd bet on numerous false finishes. As did JR and Heyman, who did a fantastic job putting over the action.
This can't be. Count it, damn it. No, come on. It can't be this way.
Triple H tearing his quad didn't take away from such a thrilling encounter, since Hunter went through with the planned finish despite the pain.
Jericho's got the walls of Jericho on the game.
Then there were more dramatic near falls.
God is gonna continue.
We were witnessing a 5-star classic before our very eyes. The finale was spectacular, as Jericho and Benoit got the win, while the commentators and fans continued to go nuts. Stone Cold joined the announce desk for Benoit's steel cage match with Kurt Angle on the June 11th, 2001 episode of Raw.
You look at me like that, you little bastard. What's wrong with you?
Austin and JR had an entertaining dynamic, since Steve had recently beaten up his former best friend Jim after turning heel. Meanwhile, Heyman provided brilliant facial expressions in the background, while the Rattlesnake scolded the Oklahoman.
Look at me, hillbilly boy. It don't matter what I like. That's damn right it don't. I don't give a damn what you like. Don't even look at me.
This match is most remembered for Angle and Benoit both climbing the cage and then jumping off. Paul could be heard shrieking no multiple times, while Ross yelled at Benoit, "Don't do it." One of Jim's trademark phrases.
This match was wild. Oh Lord. Yeah, man. Find out what led to later on. That was great. But this match was great, especially when Angle missed the moonsault, and he saw it look like a dumb missile.
JR's reaction when Kurt hit the moonsault was even better. Jim's call added to such an incredibly spectacular moment.
When he hit that, he sold that miss. He sold the hell out of that miss moonsault, He sold the hell out of that miss moonsault. Oh my God, look at that missile like this.
Incredibly spectacular moment.
Yeah, he sold it.
Angle left the cage victorious after Stone Cold screwed over Chris, who was the Rattlesnake's rival at the time.
This was Kurt was still
battle with Shane.
This was Kurt was still a heel, and it was like kind of aligned with Austin for a while because it was Mr. McMahon's favorite wrestlers.
McMahon from the 2001 King of the Ring was like a throwback to Heyman's ECW, given the brutality, and you could tell how much Paul enjoyed the street fight, as he was on form all throughout.
I was Shane, I beg for forgiveness.
He noted the mismatch between the opponents, but also stressed how the no-rules stipulation at least gave Shane more of a chance than he would have had otherwise. Not to mention, Kurt had already wrestled twice that night in the King of the Ring tournament matches.
An Olympic head right in the trash can.
McMahon's toughness was going to be what got him through it, though Angle was still guaranteed to have his way with Shane O'Mac.
You think Shane McMahon's body is used to having to recover from a beating like Kurt Angle is giving him? And you think Shane's gonna fall for this again? What's wrong with him?
Shane McMahon gonna try to go. He's not.
And as Kurt brutalized Shane more and more, JR and Heyman had a verbal exchange. Jim wanted the match to be stopped, but Paul disagreed.
I mean, these are set designs. You know how much money this stuff is worth? No. Think that glass is?
Well, I'm not worried about the money or the budgets. I'm worried about two human beings, especially Shane McMahon.
I'm not talking about the money or the budgets. I'm talking about the thickness of the glass. I'm talking about this is big-time set design. Oh, my God!
So did Shane, who miraculously still had more fight left in him.
Angle got the leg. My God, please.
This is why I always give props.
Angle came away with his hand raised following a vicious encounter.
Oh, no. It's the Angle slam. His bloody body on top of Shane.
This is a classic back to the
WrestleMania 17 is considered the greatest WWE pay-per-view ever, topped off by the second match in The Rock and Stone Cold's Mania saga.
I was hoping that Paul and Roman had a brawl, but they did. But still, they came through WrestleMania. But this match here, oh shoot, I'm so sorry. My nose is like running around. It's crazy. Hey, let's keep going.
What was that at him?
JR and Heyman both put over the importance and stakes on the line, as well as the fierce battle that was taking place.
Unreal now, Austin bloody, The Rock bloody, the battle is for the title, and all is on the line.
God, this is intense. This is WrestleMania.
Initially, it was Austin that had no quit in him.
Butted and battered challenger. Just by God will not quit.
Even a callback to his past classic with Brett wasn't going to keep Steve down this time around. But after McMahon began to help Stone Cold, no one could believe it, especially JR, who was so close with Austin. Now it was The Rock fighting to survive and somehow staying in it. In the end, it was one chair shot too many, as Steve defeated Rock to win the WWF title, while JR reacted in disgust.
What the hell is this?
It's a new champion!
I thought I knew Steve Austin. I was there in the hospital when he came out of surgery. I thought I knew him.
Austin's heel turn was cemented with the handshake that led to Jim's legendary call. What a shocking way to end not just a one-of-one WrestleMania, but also the Attitude Era as a whole. The Rock and Stone Cold ran it back the next night on Raw in a match that is famous for its closing angle. During the bout, however, the Great One was like a man possessed, on a mission to punish Austin after the events of Mania.
Rock looking at the title belt. It was once his, and he just hit Austin right in the head with it.
The People's Champ went after the Rattlesnake with weapon shots, and even forced a rare tap out from the Redneck.
I've never seen that before.
Although McMahon had the referee distracted, the commentators were just as emotionally charged as the action was, with JR constantly up in arms over McMahon's interference.
It's gonna be over. Damn it.
Though it wasn't Vincent's involvement that would surprise fans on this night. As if Steve aligning with the boss at WrestleMania wasn't shocking enough, Austin proceeded to join forces with his arch nemesis, Triple H.
They're gonna explode.
The new villainous trio beat the hell out of the Brahma Bull and sent him packing for Hollywood.
This match has disintegrated all the way to the depths of hell. Thanks to Mr. McMahon, Austin, and the game.
For JR, his former best friend had linked up with the evil chairman, as well as the wrestler Jim despised the most. Plus Ross had to communicate with Heyman, who he also hated. Jim's closing line put it all into perspective, as Stone Cold, Triple H, and Vince were now all on the same page. The Attitude Era was done, and may God have mercy on the WWF souls.
Yup. Right.
With Austin turning and The Rock gone to make a movie, the babyface side was now much lighter. The likes of Angle, Benoit, and Jericho were kept in the mid-card for another few months. This meant we had to contend with Undertaker and Kane as top babyfaces. Sure, neither men were doing their best work during this period, but JR and Heyman certainly were. So much so that their commentary could liven up an otherwise dull storyline between the two-man power trip and the Brothers of Destruction.
The Spanish guys are over there. That's my monitor.
You can't beat him out here.
At Judgment Day 2001, Stone Cold wrestled Taker. Vince was guest commentator for this main event, and Paul made sure to suck up to the boss at the expense of JR.
Stand up.
That's all right. No, that's all right.
Sit down. Sit down.
Woman.
Sit down.
At your age, will you? Don't be an idiot.
How are you, sir? Hide behind JR.
Yup.
Hide behind JR, Vince.
He's a hey behind JR.
JR and Heyman's continuous arguments over Austin turning were pure gold.
What changed this man?
Yup.
Nothing changed him. He's a rattlesnake.
I don't agree with that.
He warned you for 4 years. Don't trust anybody. DTA. That included himself.
Ross was disgusted by his former best friend's recent actions, though Paul argued he's been the same rattlesnake all along.
You used to love it when Austin showed nobody respect. You used to love when Austin would rebel against authority. Now you hate it. Who's changed?
He's changed.
He's the same man.
Well, you didn't know him, Paul. That's your opinion.
I have
Exactly.
known him for
Remember what
years.
you are.
I've managed both of
Oh,
these men
y'all.
early in their careers.
Yup. That's true. That is true.
Sick and perverted.
Retribution.
The finish of the match fell pretty flat, since the fans' attention was directed at Kane running in during the final cover.
Off to the left side. There's a cover. And it's over.
Yup.
The crowd was hot all throughout though, and enhanced the action, as did JR and Heyman, who did a top job painting the picture for us and putting over heel Austin.
Austin's the luckiest son of a bitch in the country.
Now if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our similar video of 10 WWE stars who had real life heat with Stephanie.
That's a good one. But yeah. JR and Heyman was definitely underrated gold, yo, for sure, yo. Other than that, though, if you like my reaction to this, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.